Hello, friends and family. It's day 73, cycle 4, day 9. Welcome to my daily vlog, where I share my quest to crush aggressive diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, DLBCL, stage 4, ICD code C83.39, and we're using the R-EPOCH Immunotherapy to crush non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Thank you so much for joining me on the journey, today and every day. Today is a little bit better day. Smidge. Pretty much a rinse and repeat from yesterday. So let's get into mental health, HeadSpace, Noodle. Rinse and repeat. I feel a bit stronger, but pretty much it's all day has been remember to stay in bed, remember to rest, don't push your body, heal, focus on healing, focus on healing. All right, so I have 3 quotes for you. One from my lovely card. Number 1, work hard for what you want because it won't come to you without a fight. Leah LaBelle. This is my fight. I'm working hard. And I'm working hard for my fight because we got to crush lymphoma. Number 2. Ooh, that's scary. Ready? I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and I try to ignore the rest. Venus Williams. So for me, I am not focused on the treatments. I am not focused on the cancer. I am focused way beyond that to being cancer-free and living my best life. That is my focus. And all of this is just peripheral, right? And I just keep reminding myself of that all the time, right? The end goal is where I'm looking. The interim goals, yeah, they're important, but they are not my focus. Okay, last quote. This is an old one. The man, or woman, who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Confucius. So every treatment that I take, every day that I live with grace, every day that I move past my symptoms and get to the next day, I'm moving a small stone, and when I'm done, small stone, and when I'm done, I will have moved the mountain that is lymphoma. Right out of there. No more lymphoma. So that is my mental health, HeadSpace, Noodle. Eye on the target. Baby steps. And remember to listen to your body. That's a big thing for me, is listening. So I'm listening. All right, let's get into my to-da list. What did I do today? There should be no surprises here. First, I rested. Yes. Second, I hydrated. Yes. Third, I worked on my slipper again. So these slippers are basically a crocheted square that then get folded into a slipper. So the first thing I did, here you go, I made a square. Ta-da! The second thing I did, I sewed up the back in half, and that will be the heel. And the last step I have to do is the toe and then up the front, and then I have a slipper. These slippers are really versatile. They're unisex, I think. You could make them a little more feminine if you shape the toe more ballet slipper or pointed toe. You can keep it square-toed for a woman or a man. I love them. And depending on your color choice or yarn choice can also, dictate. So I'm going to also try, this is the one I wanted to test out, like a unisex, not a unisex. I want to work on the pattern so that I can give directions for anybody. Like I know how to make the slipper for my foot, pretty easy. But how can I make directions so you could make slippers for your own foot, right? Or I could make them, or anybody could make them based on the measurements of your foot. So that's what I'm working on next for the slippers. And I have some yarn. I'm going to ask one of the boys or Bill if I could do slippers for them. So I'm going to practice that and probably make a video out of that at some point. That's the plan. But it's fairly straightforward. And when you put your mind to it, it's something you could put together in a day. Less than a day, probably. It's really just a square, or 2 squares or rectangles, and then you just got to sew them together. So it's pretty straightforward. All right. Oh, as a side note, I had an email from a family member that said when I talk about knitting, they tune out. I'm like, so A, it's not knitting, it's crocheting. Just letting you know, I don't knit. B, they asked if I could talk instead about sports or humor, comedy. So I don't know much about sports. I mean, I can watch sports, but I don't have much to say about it. And comedy, not so much. I'm not that funny. I can laugh at myself. That helps, but sorry, you're out of luck. I know about crochet. So just tune out for those couple minutes when I talk about it. All right, let's see. I was able to work with my friend Kathy to understand what I did wrong on the live. Some of that was me. I clicked the wrong options in YouTube, so that was me. But we also did discover a few technological/hardware issues on my side. So we're going to work on those, or I'm going to work on those, and I'll ask Bill and the boys to help me. And then we can try and do another live. So this is what I was thinking. I want to get your feedback. So please put some responses in the comments below. What do you think if we do maybe a weekly live where I do the summary of the week? Because I've been wanting to do those, but I haven't gotten those videos together. So what if I did like a weekly summary? So if you missed any of the videos from the week, or if you're just not watching them, but you would just want to check in once a week, you could go to the weekly live. And then in the weekly live, since it's interactive, you guys can chat to me and ask me questions, and I can just give a quick summary of the week. You know, what highlights and lowlights, maybe my favorite quote, or, you know, whatever, something like that. So I was thinking that might be a way to use live. I thought live was a good use of the PET scan, but then I messed it up, sorry. PET scan results. But I was thinking maybe a weekly live that was just a summary of the week. So let me know if you think that's a good idea in the comments. And then secondarily, if you do like that idea, what date, day of the week, time would be good? You know, is a weeknight good at a certain time? After the kids go to bed, before the kids go to bed? Dinner time, before dinner, after dinner, you know, those kinds of questions. You know, is the weekend better? In the midday, end of day, early? You know, just give me an idea of, you know, I like Saturdays at this time, Sundays at that time, or I prefer this day of the week. You know, Mondays at 7 is the best, or, you know, whatever you think, let me know. Okay? All right, let's see, what else do I have? My to-do list, I had a very brief, because I just didn't have the stamina, driveway visit with my parents, which was quite lovely. I think we were probably 15 feet apart. But it was nice. Quick little, hey, how you doing? Everybody was masked. It was pretty sad but humorous. They are both going for their first COVID vaccination tomorrow, so I wish them luck there. That's good news. Keep them safe. And then the last thing on my to-do list was not actually something I've done yet. We'll see if I can get a little bit done tonight after I finish this recording. I have not done any charity miles, but I did look earlier today, and we currently have 12 team members. I can see all 12. Great job, everyone. Keep on moving. And if anyone would like to join us on charity miles, please do so. You're welcome to join us. I think there's a link down in the description for joining the team, if I'm not mistaken. And I forgot to look up our cumulative miles for today, but I'll put that on the screen right here. Ta-da! Great job! Way to go, team! All right, let's move on to the to-do list for tomorrow. Again, my to-do list is broken into 3 segments. So to-do, must do. Rest, hydrate. Okay, to-do, would like to do, crochet, finish the slippers, maybe even start working on the new slippers or work with my new yarn. To do, would like to do, I have a number of robotics emails I need to look through and respond to. I think that I can do those laying in bed with my laptop, so I'm hopeful that I can get those done. So they're not quite to do, but they're higher. They're probably higher than the crochet. They need to get done. And then to do, would really like to do it, but not counting on it, would be to paint my nails. I haven't done it in quite a while. There's really no benefit, but it does help my noodle. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel pretty when I look at my nails and they're painted. It just makes me feel more put together and nice and not so sick. So I would like to paint my fingernails. Will it happen tomorrow? I don't know. However, if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it might not happen for a while because I suspect Monday at work is going to be a tough day. All right, that is it for my to-do list. Again, I'm keeping them pretty short, and I'm trying to segment them realistically into what I absolutely have to get done, what I would like to get done, and then, kind of wish list items. Okay, angel delivery. Today we had several, all food-based. They're trying to fatten us up. I don't know what it is. We got some fruit. We got some tuna casserole. The boys had tasty subs delivered. And we got some oatmeal raisin cookies. So thank you very much to the angels for the delivery. So, if you came for story time, thank you so much for joining us today. That's the end of story time, and we're going to get into status. Thank you. We love you. All right, status. We'll start with my nemesis, eating. So the nausea has been real today. How do I articulate this one? Someone in the comments recommended ginger tea. I have tried ginger tea. I tried it early on and it did not help. It was quite the opposite. I am a fan of ginger tea. I have ginger tea. And actually when I drink smoothies, I usually put raw ginger into my smoothies because ginger, in addition to being good for your belly, also helps with inflammation. So I am a fan of ginger, but it hasn't been helping me this round at all. I have some lemon ginger drops that I try occasionally, and they're tolerable. They don't help me as much as the root beer barrels, but I do have them sometimes just to change it up. This morning I had nausea. The rest of the day I've had nausea, but I've been able to manage it. But it's the same story with that fine line. Don't eat too much or you get nauseous. Don't eat too little or too infrequently or you get nauseous. So I guess got to kind of keep a steady base. I did have to take Zofran this morning. However, I did drink the ginger tea despite it not working. Actually, I really felt nauseous at first, but I took the Zofran and then I was able to finish the ginger tea. I drank peppermint tea and then I drank more ginger tea and more peppermint tea. So I've been keeping that up pretty well. Mouth, teeth, throat, So not pain, but definitely bothering me. Definitely there. I don't know how else to articulate that. My weight is down. Here's the picture. Snapped a picture. I can't remember if it was a kilo or a kilo and a half. It's come down from the highest it was. And I suspect it will continue to come down. I think that is the prednisone leaving my system and all the interstitial fluid is letting down. So let's move on to fluid. Yesterday I was at the bottom of my goal at 68 ounces. I know my doctor's office said 40 to 60 was acceptable, but that's not acceptable to me. And I did some of my own research, and it seems to say 8 to 10 ounces is really the recommendation. 8 to 10 cups is the recommendation. So that would be 64 to 80 is the minimum. I would like to see over 80 personally, but we're rolling with it. In any case, I made 68 ounces, which I am happy with. That was satisfactory given my other issues of the day, which is about 2 liters, so that's good. And my out was 2.6 liters, which is why I think that the prednisone is leaving the house. Leaving. See you later. Okay, let's talk about other chemo symptoms. Neuropathy. I have the note here that it's increasing. I don't know that it's increasing from yesterday, but it is staying where it's beyond my first knuckle. It's definitely impacting most of my hand at this point. I didn't have anything running up my arms today. So it's not an insignificant issue, but it's not increasing beyond what I had yesterday. I guess that's how I should articulate that. The hair is status quo. The skin is status quo, I think. No nose clots. I did have night sweats. No headache. Yes, fatigue. No red skin and no chemo brain. Okay. Sleep. Sleep, I have written here 7 hours, 5 minutes. I'm not sure if that should be 7:50 or 7:05, but we'll call it 7:05. And that was overnight. And then I laid in bed most of the day. I was not sleeping, but I was laying. So I don't think I really had any naps per se. Maybe once or twice, my eyes closed and I kind of fell asleep for a few minutes, but not any length of time. My movement was 3,400 steps. My vitals were fine. I think my heart rate's coming down a little bit compared to what it was over the last couple of days, but not significantly yet. And no doctor's news. So that's the story of my life today, anyway. Pretty much rinse and repeat. Remind myself consistently that I need to listen to the limitations of my body. I cannot get up and dart about. I cannot do all the things I normally do. I need to rest, heal. So I just have to keep reminding myself that. I mentioned on yesterday's on yesterday's vlog, that it's difficult to be off on the weekend or on your days off and just really do nothing. But I remind myself, I'm not doing nothing, I'm healing. And when I spoke to my friend today, she's like, what's the first thing on your to-do list? I'm like, rest. She's like, well, you're doing it. You're crushing your to-do list. I was like, all right, I got to change my perception. I'm crushing my to-do list. I also had an opportunity to speak to 2 friends today, which was lovely. Thank you for spending time with me. What else can I talk about here? I think we're just about done. There was one other thing I wanted to mention to you. Rest. Oh, okay, this will be somewhat brief. So I really believed when the onset of my cycle 4 chemo knocked me down quickly. I had to take the anti-anemics very early on. I couldn't control the nausea with my eating and so forth. That there was I had some belief that if I started day 1, 2 a little higher, then that mean that day 6, 7, 8 wasn't going to escalate the way it typically did. That it would level it out some. Because typically I start down here and it works its way up. But if I start here, then obviously mathematically it's just not going to go quite as high, right? Yeah, that wasn't the case, right? You guys saw, it knocked me on my butt. So that was kind of disappointing. And I think that without barring trouble, that probably means cycle 5 and 6 will be similar, if not worse. So I need to count on the fact. I delusionally believed that I would get to Thursday and Friday and I'd be all right. I'd be limited, but it wouldn't be crazy, No, it knocked me down. So I need to know in my brain, I need to change my perception. The day 6, 7, 8 for cycles 5 and 6, I should set to nothing, right? The only things on the list are rest and hydrate. There's nothing else. There's not even like a wish list. It's rest and hydrate. So that is the story of my life. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. And thank you for your love and support and understanding. I really, really appreciate it. And it's really helped me to execute this journey with grace and gratitude and love and support. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. I love you. Remember, every day is a gift. Live it.